In this video, we're going to be loading with a tractor versus rolling by hand. You'll see the difference. We'll be going over some lumber mill terminology with some definitions. We'll be cutting some slabs and we'll be leveling some piths. And what is weighing? And we'll also be sizing the cant for maximum lumber and how to cut it up. First, I have to clean up with an axe any spots I missed with the chainsaw. Well, first off, this is a 12-foot log, which is hard to size on this, as you've seen by previous videos. But this small 12-inch diameter log, I can slide it forward on the forks once I get over the bed to give me an approximate, or give me a good position. I can get it closer to actually the blade itself, because I don't have to be quite as careful by hitting the sides, because I can get it in a little bit, then slide it up, and I can get it close, as close as I want. And you'll see as I slide it forward, get it closer and closer, then I have to just kind of move it a little bit, kind of roll it. I did use some wedges to get it in a good position so I can just drop her on the bed. It's a lot easier to do this way. You see how easy I got in a position? Now here I'm just rolling it forward to make sure I can cut the whole length of the board. This is a 12-footer. Then I'll put in the middle so I can measure the piths on both sides. Looking at the log from this angle, you can see where both ends kind of bend down, which this is why this is going to be a lot of waste on this log. Okay, the piths were only 1/4 inch off. I'm going to leave them be the way they are. 1/4 inch isn't too much when you're just making 2-bys. Now there might be quite a bit of waste on the first cut here. This one is about 12 inches around. You see I can lift 12 inches ones up, but to get about 17 I can't lift the 12-footers up anymore. Yeah, it's only an inch difference. I thought maybe it was more, but it's only 10 and 11. I misjudged this cut. I'm going to have to take another cut to take a little more off. Now the side that's down has already been cut, so this is where I start paying attention to my gauge to make sure I, level it up evenly in one so I can get the cant what I want it and make the cuts I want. Now this cut will be my first flitch. Now as I get this log in position, you'll notice that I still have bark on both sides, which means I have not leveled the pith out on this log yet. So that is going to be my next chore with this log. In order to measure the pith on the other side, I have to move the carriage up and over it a little bit so I can measure it. And once I measure it, I see that I'm going to have to move that pith up in the air some. So I went ahead and moved it forward so it's out of the way. Okay, gonna have to move this side up about an inch. I do not have a toe board, so I just put a good solid 2x4 across the base there, and then I put that's actually a car jack, a car scissors jack that I welded a kind of a top end to it, so it kind of gets a bite into it and try to center the log up. So you want to make sure it's centered so it goes up smooth. You want to make sure it's good and centered on that 2x4 so it doesn't roll on you. Now I got to just crank her up and try to get a good measurement so both the piths are even on both sides. The other pith is 6 3/8. This one is now 6. And normally 3/8 is okay, but I already have it on a jack, so I might as well get her better. About 6 1/4. That should about do it. Actually, maybe a little high. Take her down a touch. There you go. We'll go with that. I'm trying now just to get a good saw cut. I want to get rid of any of the bark there on the left-hand side. As you see, the right-hand side, it dips down pretty quick. So I'm just going to worry about the left-hand side so I can make some flitches. Now that I'm cutting the other side, the one side is flat, the upper side is not. I'm going to start paying more attention to my inch markers on my gauge so I can get a size that I want. You can see I have a 7x7 cant. I'm going to take this cant and I am going to try to maybe cut 1 inch off the top, and that will give me a 1 by 7 inch board. There is some weighing down on the other end of it, so I'm going to flip it up. I'm going to take it off here. Now the can itself is 6 inch by 7 inch. I'm going to flip it up so I can cut another 1 inch and make it a 6 by 6 cant. And that way I will line up the old board and try to cut off some of that leftover bark that's on it at 6 inch. So I will get a 1 by 1 on the top of the 1 inch board, which I can use some for that for stickers. And I will also get a 1 by 6 board off the top of the cant, which will make that cant 6 by 6. Now after that cut on that cant, I now have a 1 by 1. You've seen me. Here is a 1 by 6 by 12, another 1 by 6. Now that I have a 6 inch cant, I want a 4 by 6, which I'll take the 4 inches from the bottom, and that'll give me my 4 by 6. And then I'll be cutting about 2 inches down, which is 4 inches from the bottom, and that'll give me a 2 by 6 by 12 on the top. Now is the time to start cutting some flitches. In this cut, you will see me use my 2 by 6 by 12 as a backing board, and I'm going to cut a 4 inch wide board here. Okay, I'm not real happy with the way that board cut up, but I got it cut up. There was a lot of waste in that board. You hate to be wasteful, but the one end kind of went up a little bit like that. And it just had a lot of waste. I got a, here's a 2 by 6 by 12, and I want some 4 by 6 by 12, so I got one. I got a 1 by 4, 2 1 by 6s, and a strip I can use for stickers, and that's all I got out of that 17 inch log. But I guess that's not so bad. It could always be worse. And I guess I'll stack them and see if I can get another load. The weather's starting to turn on me a little bit. I'm afraid it's going to rain here in a bit. And that's the case, I'll take care of the cameras and everything, but I'll keep on working here until it actually starts raining. So maybe I can get another one on here and we'll see. And maybe I won't, but for now, I want to thank you for viewing. And if you subscribe, thank you. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It'll help an old man out. So once again, it's the old man with the plan. I'll see you later.